Here we are with the Mustang build-up of the 66 Roadster project. Here's the interior. See where I have the air rides, electricals put in there. There's the roll bar, where the seat's going to go. I'm going to put a firewall there. There's the dash and the tubing for the radiator. There's the passenger side where the glove box is. There's where the driver's side panels are going to be. There's going to be the center screen for the Dominator probably, and one of these on each side for the buttons to control all the things. There's the air tank for the air ride. The compressor's inside and it's really quiet. There's the engine location. Those seats are garbage. The bottom of the motor, you see the factory manifolds. I'm going to swap these out for tubular control arms. Here's the mounts for the engine. I want to put poly in there, but if I can't find any, I'll go solid mounts. Just make them myself. The engine's all aluminum, so it's light. Trying to get the car weight down to 2,600 overall. This is the battery placement. See how close it is to the frame. This whole frame is out of a Lincoln Continental. It was front wheel drive, so I can't get a manual for it. Stuck with the auto. See where I laid out the factory fuse box. There's the factory intake. Took it off to replace it with a 99 Cobra intake. There you go. It's been powder coated in black. Needs some cleanup. That's going to work good with the turbo because it faces to the rear. The coolant passages. The one with the hose goes the input, and the other side was the output. Needs to be modified to work with this configuration. There's a transmission for F50N. There's the coolant lines again where I've modified them. Gotta do some filling. There's how close the pulleys are to the frame. Still get a belt on there, but I removed some pulleys, so I have to refigure out how I'm going to do the belt routing. Theirs is all cleaned up, how it's going to lay out. And I cut the roll bar off because I'm going to run double hoops like the AC Cobra has. Here I'm going to put a skid plate under both the pans. So the whole bottom of the car will be skid plated eventually. Everything that needs to run to the front to the back is going to go through the tunnel. I replaced all these bushings already. Couldn't find poly, so I had to get rubber. Those ones too. These are the rear control arms. There's the ball joints that are toast. They'll be replaced. Car had 100,000 miles before I yanked the front end out from underneath it. The brake should stop it with no problem because the rear came off of a car that weighed 4,000 and so did the front. Here I'm going to close the trunk also on the bottom. The whole pan should be flat when I'm done. This front suspension's off a 2005 Crown Victoria, all aluminum. I think I paid $500 for that. And then the rear was $1,500 for everything, for the whole Continental. And I put it in here. And the car itself was $800. So low cost overall so far. Just all the other stuff's going to add up. There's where the tunnel's going to go through. I'll enclose all this, beef everything up. Turbo is going to be mounted in the trunk. It's going to be sealed off from the rest of the trunk. There, I cleaned and primered the bottom. See how much higher the floor sits than the subframes. There's the air ride. It's AccuAir ride system, but the fronts are different from the rear airbags. Two different companies. See how it's all set up. This is all the way down, so both sides. There's the wiring for the AccuAir. This is their high-level endo tank. Wiring was pretty easy. I have the panel I made for the way everything lays out. It's really good. Made things really simple. You You see the air tank underneath it, underneath the dash. The compressor is really quiet, and it's inside the tank, so it doesn't take up much room. I do see a problem in the summer with the compressor getting overheated. There's air all the way up. I got it on rollers so I can move it around the shop, but that's to clear speed bumps or curbs or whatever. Here's the adjustments for the air ride sensors. I got to put limiting straps in the back or figure something else out, maybe a longer arm. It's got 8 inches of travel in the rear, 4 in the front. I need the rear to be 4 or fix the sensor. Here's the test. It's all the way up, right there. Ride height's going to be tire level with the fender, with the bottom edge of the fender. Thing's going to need a lot of body work. The only dent was originally in the left rear quarter, and it went all the way down the side. I put new doors and fenders on it, and hood and trunk lid. Here's it laid all the way out. Sorry for the fan noise. It's hot in here and there. There's about ride height. There's the bodywork started. This is when I had it mocked up. See the Shelby front end on it, which I really like. I may do some kind of air dam or something on the bottom. I just didn't want to buy the one that you can get for it. I'm trying to do as much custom stuff as I can. I'd love to be able to make that Shelby spoiler out of metal. Just don't have the time to do it. 2 braces underneath here will go away, where you see the old control arms used to go. It'll just be flat. Here's before I started stripping it. Still was unsure about what I was going to do about the windshield. Here's coming off with all the paint, primer. The rears are pretty much the only original metal left. Everything else you see has been replaced. Quarters in the rear panel. Cut the wheel wells out, kind of too big, but with the flares on there, it came out the right size. I'm going to make my own rear bumper out of sheet metal. Maybe these quarter caps too. Here I'm lining up the doors with the body and the hood. Took a lot of moving everything around to get it right. But they came out really good. See down the side. Door handles are going to go away because there's going to be a release on the inside. Keep it looking slick. And I'm going to run rear view mirrors on each side. It's like the Shelby Bullet style. Steering column is out of an I Did It Chevrolet style with tilt. Just got to rewire that for everything else. All this underneath there will be cleaned up, blasted, and recoated. I'm running Raptor liner on the interior for the floor and all the inside of all the panels. Like I said, it'll be blasted, primered, and then put the Raptor liner on it. Then the outside is going to be painted a Sonic blue with some kind of pearl stripes or something, maybe silver or white. Haven't decided. No windshield as far as I think I'm going to do, but if I do decide to run something, it'll be like the AC Cobra Shelby style with a polycarbonate windshield. It'll have the chrome hoops for the rollover protection. I have rear tail lights and front headlights. I'll need to wire that up as well. Not really a lot of wiring. Car's going to have basic function. It'll have the air ride, headlights, tail lights, turn signals, and no heat, no AC, nothing else. I have a USB port to charge my phone, maybe a Bluetooth speaker. This is just me setting the alignment here. I didn't film a lot of this, so I'm just trying to go back and give you guys some kind of content to see what happened up to this point. I pulled the alternator to put the intake on. Dash for it. I'm going to fill in those holes on the cowl. Maybe make a whole new panel. Then the dash will get it welded back in. Here's me fitting the flares. I ordered the front too narrow, so I had to modify them to make them fit. The rears are what I wanted. Just got to fill in the little corner panels there near the bottom so it fits nice. Here's where I chopped the windshield. Thought about even a removable windshield. Here's where I flanged around the wheel well. Bought this tool from Harbor Freight. It worked pretty good. See how it pushes it in? So when I put the flare up against it, I can weld it and it'll be smooth, or at least as close as I can. Would have been nice if it was offset a little bit more. Here I was trying to do hoops of my own. That bender is down on the right hand side, and I broke the bottle jack when I did it. It just wouldn't get them right. That's the best I could do with the bender. So I think what I ended up doing, I got frustrated and I just went ahead and bought rollover tubes for AC Cobra, which are way nicer. A little pricey, but way nicer. And I got these couplers so I can take it off and just send the whole top of the hoop out to get chrome plated. And it'll be on the passenger and the driver's side. Here's me tacking in the flares. Came out pretty good. I really wish I would have TIGged these instead of MIGging them. I would have had a lot less to grind down. This panel needs to be banged out too. It's got too many dents in it. Here's the front. I had to cut those ends off and then bend them inwards to get them to fit right. And the bottom underneath the panel, this is flush to the top of the flare all the way around. So there's no sharp metal to dig into the tire or anything. Like I said, all layered out. Really loving the concept of this car. Just trying to get the execution as nice as the concept. Here I have to cut the hoop off the back. You can see where I chopped everything. Don't know what I'm going to do with the rest of this cage. Like I said, the floor is really strong. It's got braces in there. It's double wall with a lattice work in between. Makes it really strong, but I still want to have some more metal there, I think, to strengthen it. When I lift it up on the hoist, it doesn't flex or anything. Here's how low it is to the ground. It's really low. That's why I want to skid plate it. Man, I love this car. It would have been perfect if I could get a manual transmission for it. And I may try to figure something out later. Right now, this will work. There's me when I ground them flush. Still got some more tigging to do to fill the little pinholes and stuff. Like I said, trying to go for no Bondo. That's it for now. More to come.